so I was like 40 feet tall, right? And I gave a speech at my 5th grade graduation, and my principal was like 6'5", but when he got off the stage, he forgot to bring it down, so I went up and I had to, like, all 4 feet of me, like, jump up, grab it, pull it down, and it made a lot of noise, a lot of feedback. Everyone kind of looked at me like, you guys are crazy, but that was a long time ago, so it doesn't really affect me, but time. See, time is what I want to talk to you guys about today. See, time is so interesting to me. Like, whenever I'm in a preliminary stage of getting to know people, I usually ask whether or not they think time is a social construct, right? Some people argue that it isn't, because if you remove the metric that we use to measure time, it still exists, it still passes, but other people argue that because we've created this metric, the whole concept of time is socially constructed. Now, whether or not time is or isn't socially constructed is kind of irrelevant for this talk. But another thing that really interests me about time is how cyclical it is. Time works in patterns. What goes around comes around. You know, we see this in stuff like The Lion King and The Circle of Life, or J. Cole saying history repeats itself and that's just how it goes, or even the concept of karma, right? Where whatever you put into the world is going to manifest and eventually come back around to you. But we're going to put a pin in that. We'll come back to how time loops later. The last thing that really interests me about time is how different cultures and societies conceptualize and give time value. Especially the West, or the US, or whatever you want to call it. Like, ever since Ben Franklin said time is money, we've had this on-go mentality where you have to use your time as efficiently as possible so you can become as successful as you can as soon as you can. Right? That's why we have a bunch of automated services now. That's why we start our papers at 11 p.m. and they do it at 12. That's just how things go. So think about your parents. Your parents usually put you in some sort of craft, or push you in a certain direction at an early age so you can like learn what you want to do and be successful at it as soon as you can. For me, that was wrestling. You see, my dad wrestled 2 years of JV wrestling in high school, so he thought it'd be a good idea to train me to be an Olympic champion. Right, so he named me after an Olympian, talk about expectations, and started me on the mat when I was 3 years old. As far back as I can remember, before school, I was going on a run, going to school, and then come back home and try to do my homework as fast as I could so I could go to another 4-hour evening practice. And, that's no kid really wants to do that. So, unfortunately, because it was more my dad's dream than mine, if I didn't wrestle to the level that he wanted me to, there was some physical abuse that followed. Or if I didn't wrestle in the weight class he wanted me to be in, I would go without dinner. I wasn't allowed to hang out with friends. I didn't start listening to music on my own until like freshman year of high school. I didn't watch TV. Everything was wrestling and school. Why? Because I didn't have time for all that other stuff. Time is money. And so I had goals, right? So I wanted to get state titles, wanted to get national titles, wanted to earn a full ride to college, which was obviously successful since BU doesn't have a wrestling team. So something went wrong somewhere. I got the state titles. I got the national titles in humble brag. But around my sophomore year, I stopped living with my dad. And I actually blew out both my knees in the same wrestling match. And everything I knew has changed. Right? I had to adapt. But let me rewind a little bit. Go back to the trauma that I went through. See, my dad's mentality was I couldn't complain about what I was going through, not hanging out with friends, not listening to music, the abuse, the food, because I had so many blessings. So many people in my area were so much less fortunate than I was. My high school had a graduation rate of around 50%. There were kids who couldn't eat, throughout the week. I could at least sometimes eat. There were people that didn't make it to college. There were people that didn't have the opportunities that I had. So what did I have to complain about? And I was like, you're right. You're right. So I got really good, and I mean really good, at repressing every single bit of emotion. If I was sad, if I was angry, if something really just pissed me off, I could put it all in a ball, never talk about it again. Why? I think about the past when I'm going towards the future. Time is money. So So fast forward a little bit. On my first semester of college, right? And I just finished my freshman year, so this is all very recent. And everything's balled up. And the thing about repressing emotions and trauma and your mental health for 15, 16 years is eventually that ball that you're packing it in starts to crack. Little bits of it seep out. And it did. I started having panic attacks. I started having nightmares. I started to go through weeks of depression where I wouldn't talk to anyone. But if you looked at my Instagram, I was smiling. I was living life. Yeah, man, I was a big man on campus in high school, and I'm gonna be in college too. None of that could faze me. Why? Because I was at a great university. I had food on the table. I had all these opportunities to be great. What did I have to complain about? I made it here. Time is money. Till one night, it's 4 a.m., I was on the floor of my dorm room, and I was having a breakdown. I was crying, I was distraught, I was a mess. The reason why is because I had a nightmare every single night for 2 weeks before that. And I was stuck in this cycle where I would get upset, my trauma would trigger me, something would happen, and then I would beat myself up because I told myself, yo, I don't know what you're upset for. What's so valid about this? You have it so much better than anyone else that you know back home. So much better. Other people in general, you have so many blessings, you have nothing to be ashamed about. So, after that night, everything went back to normal. Fast forward a couple months, the same person smiling on Instagram, talking about how great my first semester was. Everything's peachy. Right? See, I call myself an optimist, not because I'm positive and happy all the time, but because I'm so good at avoiding anything negative. And so, it's a couple months later. I'm with this guy who's kind of become a mentor in my life. We're talking, those people that just ask one too many questions. They're like, yo, how'd your last relationship end? They're like, does that smell you? It's way too personal. I'm like, okay. Well, he's one of those people. And eventually we got on the topic of mental health, and he's like, yo, how's your mental health? And I was like, it's all right. Other people have it worse, obviously. And he was like, well, tell me about that. So eventually dug deeper, and I talk about the breakdown that I had. And I go into detail, and I finish the statement with, but it's all good. I'm here still, I'm doing better, other people have it worse, I don't have to take medication, man, I'm fine. And he was like, hey, time is cyclical, right? What once happened will usually happen again if you don't change anything. Oh my gosh, he said he would come back to that, and he did. What a big speech. And I was like, yo, what are you talking about? He was like, here, you're a computer science major. Let me put into terms of computer science. So he's like, imagine life is like a loop. For my non-computer science people, a loop has 3 things. There's an input, a loop, and an output. He said, 3 things can happen. You have your input, goes through the loop, and you get your desired outcome. Or you put something in the loop, and it crashes immediately, and that's when you really know you messed up. Or put something in the loop, you never get your desired outcome, but you keep looping, and looping, and looping, and looping, and looping, and looping, and looping, until every little bit of memory in the computer is filled, and everything fails. And he said, you haven't gotten your desired output. You obviously haven't failed because you're still here talking like nothing's affecting you. But there's only one option left. And I was like, I was like, what? This guy who barely knew me just broke down my entire life with an analogy about computers. I was like, yo, who are you? But I really thought about it. And he was right. I was so focused on invalidating my own struggles that 3 months after I had a breakdown, where I literally couldn't stand up, I was saying that I was fine, because other people had it worse. I was putting myself through the same loop, expecting a different outcome. And so it really hit me. I was like, okay, maybe it's time to change something. So I did. Started taking little steps. When I was having a bad day, I didn't tell my friends I had too much homework. I told them, hey, I'm having a panic attack. I can't really do this today. Started meditating, started taking time for myself, started validating how I was feeling, started going to therapy, and before I knew it, here I am, talking to you guys about how I struggle with PTSD, depression. And that's why I love time so much, because in the midst of learning about all these things about myself, I learned about this ethnic group called the Nuer, right? The Nuer are cool because they don't measure time like we do. They don't have seconds or minutes or hours or weeks. They don't even have a word for time in their language. So it's not something that can be used or spent or wasted. Instead, they measure time structurally, right? So it's like they measure time by social events and the distance between them and the person you become because of these events. A marriage, the death of someone important, the birth of a child. And I really think that's beautiful because it doesn't focus on the person you're going to be because of where you're going or give you value based on how you spend your time. It characterizes you by the person that you are because of where you've been. And it validates what you've gone through. Because the truth is, life and struggles and hardships are all subjective. You know, what might be a stub toe to me might be a broken leg to you. Doesn't matter how grand something may or may not seem in comparison to other people, what you've gone through, if it's made you feel some type of way, it's valid. And this is something that I'm still learning. Like, this literally happened 3 months ago, that I had this epiphany. And it's still something that I struggle with. But I'm doing better. And if you guys take anything from this talk, I hope you take away that what you've gone through, no matter what background you came from, what institution you were out before, whatever, it's valid. Because those experiences made you become who you are. And so I want to put a flip on this time is money quote. Because time isn't necessarily money, but I feel like everyone's experiences are truly valuable.